Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last video, we learned how to manufacture the bottle opener seen here with our first setup. In this video, we're going to carry on where we left off and start a second setup to remove the material here along the bottom of our part, engrave our text, and add some chamfers here along the bottom. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is come back up to design. We want to make sure that our sketch where we engraved our text here is visible. So I'm going to check this eye right here so we can see the text along uh, the flat surface here of our bottle opener. Okay. Now, the next thing you want to do is come over here, download and open up our Kurt Weiss bottle opener software. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that now. All right, once your file is open, let's go ahead and bring in the bottle opener file here. So I'm going to right click, insert into current design. Okay, and I'm going to sort of move it into position here. I'm going to flip it in this direction 180 degrees and then rotate it around here 90 degrees, and I'm going to sort of place it so that it looks like it's going to fall right into the soft jaws. I'm going to move it up though just a little bit. Hit OK. Okay, so listen carefully please, because if you don't assemble this properly, it may affect the outcome and quality of your part. So let's go ahead and assemble this. We're going to go to joint. We're going to make sure it's rigid joint is selected, and I'm going to kind of zoom over under the bottom here, and please be careful. You don't want to select this circle right here. You want to select the very bottom circle of your part. So we're going to select there, and this point right here, we want it to match up with this sort of semicircle point right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click there, and it should fall right into place, and then if it does, go ahead and select OK. Once that's done, come on up to design and change your workspace now to manufacture. We're going to start a new setup. We're going to come on down to model, and we're going to select our bottle opener, and then we're going to change our orientation now, or I'm sorry, your origin to selected point, and we're going to select this circle. Okay, and our X and Y are backwards here and reversed, so we need to change them. So we're going to come on over to orientation, we're going to select X and Y axes, and we want this line right here to represent our X direction. So we're going to click there, and now it's asking for our Y axes, and we want this line to represent our Y axes, and they're still reversed, but that's okay. We can come on over here and flip them, and this looks good. So if you set everything up correctly, remember our positive X should be going to our right if we're facing our part, and our positive Y should be pointing away from us, and our positive Z should be pointing up. All right, now let's come over here and change the stock now. Okay, so we're going to change our stock size, and we're going to change our mode to fixed size box. Our width is 4 inches, or X. Our depth, or Y, is 1.5 inches, and our height, or Z, is not 0.5. We're going to change that to 0.73 inches, not 0.75, because if you remember from our previous setup, we shaved off 0.02 inches in that first facing operation. And then we're going to change our model position here, offset from -Z, a distance of 0. Okay, and then we're going to select OK. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close my data panel. And now that our setup is done, we can go ahead and start our first toolpath operation. So come on up here, we're going to select a 2D facing operation. We're going to select our tool, which is in our bottle opener tool library. We're going to select the 2.5 inch face mill. Go ahead and hit select. Set our coolant to flood. Okay. Our spindle speed is going to be 4,000. Our cutting feed rate is going to be 30. And for our geometry, we're just going to select the top surface of the part. I'm going to zoom in now so you can see it. That guy right there. Okay, now for our passes tab, I'm going to set our pass extension now to 1.5. Okay, and we're going to check multiple depths, and we're going to set our maximum step down here to 0.08, and go ahead and select OK. And you should end up with the following toolpath. Alright, so now we want to go ahead and add these chamfers along the exterior of our part in the center of this hole. So let's come on up and do a 2D contour. Change our tool now to select our bottle opener tool library to our 1/4" chamfer mill. Go ahead and select that guy. We're going to use a spindle speed now of 30 or 3000 and a cutting feed rate of 30 inches per minute. Okay, for our geometry now, we're going to come on up here and we are going to select not this top one, but the bottom contour here, and the same one here. Not this top one, but this bottom one right there. And over in our passes tab now, we want to set our chamfer tip offset as the same one we used before, which was 0.03 inches. And once all that's done, go ahead and select OK. And hopefully you get the following toolpath. And the last thing we want to do for our second setup is to engrave our text here. So whenever you're ready, come on up and let's do our last toolpath operation. We're going to select 2D trace. We're going to keep our same tool. We're going to trace with our chamfer mill with that sharp point. Okay, we're going to set our spindle speed to 3000, our cutting feed rate to 30, but in our geometry tab here, we're going to come on over here, we're going to select that text, okay, and then we're going to come over to our passes tab, and we are going to, let's set how deep we're going to cut or engrave. We're going to set that to 0.01 inches, okay. Make sure your chamfer box is checked. Go ahead and select OK. Now that we're done with the second setup, let's go ahead and, as we always do, simulate the entire operation. Check the stock. Let's check our facing mill. Comes down and removes it 0.08 inches. Layer at a time. And then we have that chamfer being applied. The inside of the hole, and then our text is going to be engraved here. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. When you're done, obviously it's going to vary because, well, you're going to have different text here, but hopefully your overall machining time is right around 2 minutes or so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that. That'll do it for this project, for this bottle opener project. Hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.